Sup goats, it's JOAT, and welcome to JOAT Plus July 2021. For those who don't know, this is a series where I round up about 10 to 15 projects and give my overall thoughts on them quickly. And in the back end of this video, I'll also be listing some honorable mentions for y'all, as well as non-dubstep, EDM/electronic recommends. So, without further ado, this list is in alphabetical order. Let's get into this. There's a lot of sludgy and textured minatory here on display. The final two tracks definitely lack in the mixing and mastering department, but for the better, to be honest, not gonna lie. They sort of embrace that black metal kind of atmospheric vibe, which is pretty enjoyable, and I fuck with it personally. My favorite off this EP would have to be, what is it pronounced? I think it's Proprietades Iam Antea Fada, which is kind of a depressive tune. I appreciate its emotional side. The storytelling is also better than the rest, in my opinion, and the percussion patterns are nice as well. I love how the drums are centered mix-wise, while the basses and atmosphere fill out everything else around it. Least favorite off the EP is probably Umbral Spectrum, the title track. It ain't bad, but it's pretty formulaic death step for the most part, I feel like. But yeah, overall, I like this EP, and Abhorrent is definitely one of my favorite minatory producers at the moment. They've been killing it. You know what? This EP kinda did exceed my expectations. For one, the versatility on here is pretty admirable. Get Out of Here being this beepy bloopy kind of number, which by the way, I do mess with it despite me not enjoying 80% of beepy bloopy dubstep like I've been saying. Yeah, this wasn't bad. It seemed a little uninspired, like execution wise, but I didn't really mind it all too much. I mean, the direction the sound design went in was pretty cool actually. Yeah, the title track being this bouncy, melodic jump-up tune. I feel like Badklaat shines the most when it goes in the jump-up D&B direction. Yeah, just the round pinprick sound design on this track, the snappy drums as well, and the jazz instrumentation on top. Oh, it makes for a pretty nice listen. The vocal as well. This is the first Badklaat song in a hot minute that I really enjoy. My definite favorite off the EP. Mad Ting being kind of a earthy, primal song. Pretty solid as well, actually. Yeah, I mean, every track has something distinct going for it. Even the final track, Killer, which is the most underwhelming of the bunch, I'd say. But its movement still feels a little visceral, which gives it an interesting flavor. Second drop, Fake Out, is solid as well. This EP is not bad, matter of fact. I'll be going back to every single one of these tracks, I think, with the exception maybe of Killer. But other than that, I'll give it a low solid. Yeah, that's pretty cool. More of beastboi's futuristic and glossy sound design being put on show here. With the pretty melodies being woven in as well, vocal sampling on point. There's something more lo-fi about this EP too, its track list. More than the music I've listened to of his in the past. Yeah, but it's still brimming with brilliance, while so reserved in its nature. It's dainty, but still pretty potent shit on show. This is a solid EP. As for a favorite, I'm looking at Ego Death, most likely. Pretty tight comp from Broken Vault Records here. It's an EP length, 4 tracks on show, reminds me a lot of Odio's Untapped series. Stylistically, this is all over the place. Secrecy and X2H, I believe their name is pronounced, putting this warbly, rhythmy tear-out song forth, which makes for an interesting listen. Skyver coming through with that deep, menacing style he's starting to make a name for himself with in the underground. Panther coming in with some more forthright, manic tear-out. He just lets everything loose. And Second Impact surprisingly putting some melodic bass to the table. I don't love the pitching up that some of the synths do, but other than that, everything else is pretty alluring. My least favorite off this compilation would have to be the Panther, not gonna lie. I just felt like it wasn't as interesting as the others. The sound palette got a little tiring towards the end, although the execution and variation was there. And actually, I don't have a favorite as of right now. The remaining 3 tracks each have distinctive qualities that I really enjoy, and I can't put one over the other right now. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping for Broken Vault to just expand upon this reserved compilation series, because it's some pretty promising stuff on show, I feel like. Relatively visceral EP from DansDemand here. I'm loving the non-drop sections, and they're fleshing out. She put a lot of work into those, I feel like. And definite bro step influence throughout this EP. Some Monster Cat vibes as well. A little color bass in there, sprinkled in. Yeah, there's just something animalistic and kind of metallic about this EP. Nothing extremely unique I'm picking up on, but the progression builds upon itself nicely with the tracks, and as a whole, all the sounds work together like cogs in a machine, which that type of music I can also get into. I mean, not everything has to be extremely standout or unique for me to enjoy something. My favorite is probably Femboy 303. Yes, that's its name. It just has more interesting ideas in my opinion. And yet again, don't have a least favorite. One thing I will say about the mix of these tracks is they're kind of washed out. It doesn't deter me from getting into the music, but it was noticeable. But I guess overlooking that is relatively easy, so I don't mind it. Definite improvement from the Cart DP on here. And it's to be expected, to be honest. These tracks are much more recent. Everything's just more pronounced, more flavorful, and more unique overall. I just felt like the Cart DP's tracks were stylistically too similar, and it's not the case at all here. My favorite tracks on here have to be Brain Rot and Fracture, the latter having some really nice tonality backing up its lasery delivery, and Brain Rot, probably her best tune to date, not gonna lie. It's just this fusion of jazz and future rhythm, and it works beautifully. It's a must listen if you're trying to get into some of Dr. Lobster's stuff. And I don't have a least favorite here. The rest are pretty solid as well. I'm liking this EP. This Disciple Roundtable release is a meh EP in my opinion. Nothing all that stand out about the ideas or sound design. Nice arrangement, nice progression, and nice movement of the sound design generally. But other than that, I'm not getting too much from it. Ammunition reminds me a lot of Jiqui's Close to You. I guess I picked up on that. And its final drop is pretty solid. But for a favorite, I'd probably have to go for Knockout. It's a bit more boundary pushing, and I'm loving the bounce of it. Other than that, just nothing really attention grabbing, in my opinion. Pretty average, not too special. Yeah, I most likely won't be going back to these tracks. Solid selection of songs from Odio, once again. I mean, what is there to expect from an Untapped installment? Healthy balance of fastidious and experimental, and just full force and blown out. My favorite is gonna have to go to the Fear Unknown and Ironhide collab. For how animalistic it is, and that rising delivery is fucking gargantuan. It works wonders. Not much to say about this comp, really. The amount of underground talent that Odio puts on the map is insane. Still fails to not impress me. And this is one of my favorite Untapped installments for sure. I'd say top 5. Pretty glitchy EP from Ren here. Very artsy and experimental. Diverse as fuck across these 3 tracks. The first going in his staple halftime direction, collab with Kuatari, by the way. And the final 2 tracks are really avant-garde, to be honest. One is like swampy and noisy, the other distant and hazy. I'm really loving the aesthetics and soundscapes that they craft out. It's really nice to see him come into his own. With this EP and with the music he's dropping as of late, the amount of creativity at his age is very admirable. So, very solid EP. I enjoyed the ideas, and it's out there. I can't pick a favorite. I'm hoping to hear more from him. This is some mysterious shit. no flat out dubstep on show here, to be honest. There's flickers of it scattered across the track list, across these 14 tunes, but it's interlaced with these exotic instruments and abstract grooves, booming bass lines as well. Hearing a little Alan Moore influence maybe, but yeah, apart from that, this is its own thing. Evil and goosebumps inducing. The textures are saturated as well. Progression of the music is murky and aimless a lot of the times, but the tunes finish strong, like they pick up very rapidly. And to be honest, it's more deep dubstep than anything. If I'd have to give it a label, if I'd have to give it a categorization, I'd go for deep dubstep, deep dub. I'm definitely very intrigued as to what Sadhu's gonna do with this occult dance music style moving forward. I think he created a label of the same name as well, so very excited, very interested, because I mess with the style. This is pretty cool. No favorite from me on this project as of right now either. It just feels like one long song, a whole experience. Yeah. This debut Halcyon full-length EP of Trinergy's is pretty good, but when it comes to Trinergy stuff, for the most part, melodicity and ideas-wise, I don't love his stuff. I think it's solid, but I don't love it. And when it comes to melodic music, I usually look for a motif, a melody, an idea that resonates with me a lot in a predominantly emotion-invoking way. And with Trinergy's music, for the most part, I really don't get that. I may get it in teeny tiny doses, just littered throughout one of his songs, but I'm just looking for more when it comes to his stuff. And yeah, I mean, this EP is definitely objectively better than my overall enjoyment of it. And it's also really well produced. There's no denying that. But again, it's not too strong of an EP when it comes to memorable melodicity and ideas, you know? My favorite, if I had to choose one, would be How You Like Me. The rest are pretty cool too, but again, for me, the melodicity isn't amazing, and I just need something more memorable. Alright, so those were the projects I've decided to cover in this video. Let's move to my honorable mentions. Dubstep, of course. We got Beastboi with Ego Death, DansDemand with Femboy 303, Dr. Lobster, Brain Rot, Euphorian, Mentality, Faytal, Knockout, Ren and Kuatari, Kinetic Flow, which is kind of halftime but still dubsteppy, Trinergy, How You Like Me, and Fear Unknown and Ironhide, Fallout. We also got MYRID with Target Zero. We got DANNO with Belt, Kompany and Jiqui with Cutthroat, Quartzone, Tropical Funk, DEXAMP, Big Man and Volatile with Dexative, DK, Wildcard, Flick, Booby Boob, pause, Sulfur, Fake, Barely Alive, Imagineer featuring Exo Eliza, and last but not least, Sullivan King and Subtronics with Take Flight. Now to my non-dubstep EDM / electronic recommends. I have 5 on show for y'all today. 2 I've already talked about. We got Abhorrent with Propriedades Iam Antea Fada, Badklaat with Wyld, and for the last 3 I decided to go for Inertia by Octane and Blank Space, Scythe with Elapse, and Taneki with Plus Ultra. And that was about it for the video, y'all. This has been your boy Joe. Thank you all for watching. Which projects would you have liked to see me cover? Also, what do you think is an honorable mention of July 2021 that I did not mention? Leave your opinions in the comment section below. Join my Discord, follow my Twitter, and the rest of my socials if you'd like. And I will see y'all in the next vid. Peace.